I just wanted to come on here and, talk about mental health, mindset, and flow state. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about these three and they all just talk about skill set, money, and, how to get there. But you can never get there and you can never become who you want to be if you do not have the right mental and you do not have the right mindset, bro. And it's really hard to try to get where you want to be if you can never get in flow state. And flow state is not something that you plan to get into, it just automatically happens. You do not plan saying, oh, I'm going to get in a flow state at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to work for 4 hours. That's not how it works. It just happens. You just get into flow state. And, before you become successful, before you become rich, before you become who you want to actually become, you have to understand laws and principles. And when I'm talking about laws and principles, I'm talking about the law of attraction, the law of detachment, the law of manifestation. All these different laws you have to understand. You have to understand your conscious self and your unconscious self and who you are unconsciously, because once you figure out that, you will know yourself 10 times better. And you have to understand why you were put on this earth, what your purpose is, and your fulfillment. What you have to fulfill during this lifetime. Holy shit. But at the end of the day, once you know that, once you know all of that stuff unconsciously, you will begin to put all that shit together and you will have the craziest mindset that you've ever had in your whole entire life. Once you achieve that, once you understand who you know unconsciously, your conscious self turns into your unconscious self, if that kind of makes sense. And it's kind of like a win-win because, bro, you know who you are, you know your goals, you know the real reason you're trying to get rich, you know the real reason you want to become successful. And it's 10 times easier to achieve that stuff when you know your unconscious self, you know your conscious self, and you have discipline, you know the law of attraction, you know the law of detachment, you know the law of manifestation, right? In flow state, it's easy. Like I said before, you don't plan on getting in a flow state. Flow state just happens, okay? And if whoever says flow state is planned, I plan to get in flow state when I first start working on the day, that's completely bullshit, because flow state actually happens in the moment when you're actually locked in and you're in a flow state. That happens over time, like you build it up. And then when you actually start working over time, when you start working, you automatically get in a flow state because you're used to getting in a flow state over the time with the repetitions, okay? It's just like practicing a sport. Every time you practice and you put more reps in, you put more time in it, you will become better. So with that being said, flow state, every time you work over time, once you start working, you will become in flow state snap fast. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not bullshitting you. And yeah, for mental, bro, you have to understand and you have to believe that you're the best fucking person. Nobody can fuck with you. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can tell you this or that. It's you. You are the best person on this fucking planet, and then you need to know why. You have to have that mindset and mentality that you are the best fucking person on this earth and nobody can fuck with you and fuck with what you're doing, bro. You should not be able to let somebody else tell you what you can and what you cannot do, because at the end of the day, you are not living for anybody else. You are on this earth to fulfill your fulfillment, first of all, into becoming your own person that nobody is. You are living your life for you and nobody else, like I said. So stop telling people or stop letting people tell you what you can or cannot achieve, because at the end of the day, your life is not their life. You're not living it for them. You're not trying to satisfy them. You're trying to satisfy your goals, your purpose, and your fulfillment. So don't let anybody put a negative thoughts or mindset in your head, because at the end of the day, once they do that, the first thing that's going to come with it inside of your head is self-doubt. And self-doubt and comfortability, especially comfortability. Holy fuck, comfortability. Especially those two, you never want to be there, because that's the biggest drug of them all. That's worse than smoking cigarettes mentally. And of course, the money, the lifestyle is cool. Maybe that's your goal to have. But at the end of the day, if you have all that money, you have the financial freedom, but you don't have, I wouldn't say love, but you don't have happiness, and you don't feel fulfilled in your life, you're going to be fucking miserable. So it's always good to have a social life. It's always good to, talk to females, be, social. Damn, she's hot. Anyways, of course you know who you are consciously. It's reality. But who are you unconsciously? Like, take a second and actually think about that, and actually tell yourself, pause this video and actually say to yourself, who am I unconsciously? Because at the end of the day, you will not become successful, you will not achieve your dreams and your goals if you don't know your unconscious self.